Moving right along, these first 4 examples, they were all real rational solutions, okay? Discriminants were positive and squares. So let's work with what happens when they are not squares. Okay, identify the A, the B, and the C. Actually get it to equal 0 first. The A, the B, and the C. B squared minus 4AC, which is 12. All right, that's a positive number, but it's not a square. So we still have 2 real solutions, but they are irrational, which for us means that they are going to have radicals in the answer. I'm going to go ahead and solve. X equals negative B plus or minus the square root of the discriminant over 2a. Talk about that 12 here in a minute. Let's go ahead and simplify the 12. Okay, it's a square root. 2, 6, 2, and 3. Square root of 4 is 2. The 3 is going to stay underneath, and this is all over 2. Now the next thing I want you to look at, okay, I'm going to highlight them, but you don't necessarily have to do that. 2, 2, and then negative 4. Sometimes, but not always, those can be reduced. Okay, in this case they can be. The radical is not part of that because it's not irrational where you can't divide it. So 2 goes into itself once, and negative twice. So now that we have a 1 in the denominator, I no longer have a fraction. So negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 3. Now this counts as 2 solutions. It's negative 2 plus the square root of 3 and negative 2 minus the square root of 3, but you can leave it like that. Get the equation to equal 0. Identify A, B, and C. There's A, there's B, there's C. Discriminant B squared minus 4AC. 32. Positive but not a square. So 2 real and irrational solutions. Now we solve. X equals negative B. Notice it's a double negative here. Plus or minus the square root of the discriminant over 2a. Okay, let's go over here and simplify the 32. There's the square. Square root of 16 is 4. Leave the 2. This is all over negative 2. Check your coefficients. Negative 2, 4, and 2. Because the denominator is negative, I'm going to go ahead and factor out a negative number. It does not change your plus or minus. That's still going to stay. So negative 2 goes into itself once, into 4 twice, and then to 2 negative once. And remember, this negative sign does not change your plus or minus, so you get what you get with that. Alright, let's go ahead and get this to equal 0 by subtracting the 20. Why can't I think of what 9 minus 20 is? It's fine. We're good. Negative 11, by the way. Identify A, B, and C. That's your A. There's your B. There's your C. So discriminant equals B squared minus 4A. Excuse me. C. Gosh, listen to my throat, man. 1 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 11. It's 45. Positive, but not a square. So 2 real and irrational solutions. Go ahead and plug in and find your actual answer. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant over 2a. Let's talk about the 45. Smallest prime is 3. 3 and 5, so that's 9 and 5. Square root of 9 is 3. But the 5 is going to stay underneath. And we have the 2. I'm not going to highlight them this time because I don't need to. Those 3 numbers don't share a common factor, so we leave it exactly as it is. And remember, this is actually 2 different solutions. We have one for the adding and one for the subtracting. Okay, so understand that that's 2 solutions, not one. It's 2 separate solutions because you have an addition sign and a subtraction sign. All right, get this equation equals 0 as well. So it's like I'm going to add an x squared, subtract an 8x, keep that 2. You can do a GCF if you want to. You don't have to with quadratic formula. You just leave it as it is. It is kind of helpful sometimes when the digits are smaller, but it still works either way. That's your A, that's your B, that's your C. Discriminant equals B squared minus 4AC. It's 48. Positive, but not a square, so 2 real irrational solutions. Did I write that on the other one? I did, okay. Okay, so x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of the discriminant over 2a. Let's deal with the 48. So 2 2's. Square root of 4 is 2. Square root of another 4 is 2, and then 3 is going to stay inside. This time we can divide by 4. It goes into itself once, and 8 twice. So x equals 2 plus or minus the square root of 3.